Hey guys, welcome back. Thank you guys for watching the video. In this video, we are going to take one of the comments and actually create an indicator. And I'm going to show you guys how that works. I'm also going to give you the indicator. I'll place it on the website. I'll tell you more details about that later in the video. But this particular video right here, this was the how to build a Forex EA video. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. Step-by-step instructions. But for this particular video, we're going to be building an indicator. So my man IQQNEX, all right, he left a comment the other day. You can see it's about 1 day ago. He says, please make video MA and stochastic indicators combination strategy. So of course I reply back, you know, what's the specific settings for the moving average, or give me some specific settings for these moving averages. So he basically said he didn't have a strategy, but he was searching and didn't find one. So I decided to take that on because I made a EA on this video that he commented on, basically using the stochastic. And in the past, I've made indicators using the stochastics and different moving averages. So shout out to IQQNEX for, you know, leaving the comment and making the recommendation. But also shout out to you guys because the channel is now at 1,000 subscribers. So I definitely appreciate all of the likes and the comments, and I thank you guys for subscribing. All right, so let's look at the video real quick. Let's get into the video real quick and let's look at the chart. All right, so I'm going to show you guys the way this works, and then we'll flip over and then I'll show you how this was actually created. Step by step, I'll show you everything, how it was created, and how we added it to the chart. All right, so the first thing, you'll notice the down arrows on the chart, and we can make those bigger. I just didn't adjust those, but we can make those bigger. So the down arrow represents sell. The blue arrow represents buy. The red check mark represents a sell. The blue check mark will represent a buy. All right, so very simply, this is very simple. The down arrow here, as you can see, is basically nothing more than the stochastic rolling over the 80 period, this 80 line right here. All right, stochastic rolls over, it generates a down arrow. That is the stochastic portion of this indicator. Now, notice how this arrow is backed off of the candle right here. Notice that it's right up on the candle right here. There is a reason for that. Inside the program, and I'll show you this in just a minute, you are able to tell the program where to place these arrows. And the setting that we currently have basically says, populate the arrow on the chart or the signal on the chart, but place it at the resistance line. I think we used 10 candles back or 20. But we basically say count 10 candles back and place this arrow at that resistance line. Or for a sell, we said count 10 candles back and place this arrow at the support level. Now that is very important because the way we want to use, now we won't necessarily use only the arrows. I'll explain how we would use this in combination with each other in just a second. So basically this is what we would do. We would come here, we would say, okay, this is telling us to trade down, but we want to wait till price comes right up to the resistance level before we trade in that direction. So here it's telling us to prepare for a bearish trade, or prepare for to sell this chart, or to sell NZD USD. But we don't want to do it until price reaches this area again, because this is the resistance area. So over here, price reaches our resistance area. So we would get in for a sell. You know, we probably would do something like a stop loss of 10 pips. All right. And then we would look to make, I don't know, 40 pips or so. That'll be a good win-loss ratio. So here, price doesn't go up, you know, past our 10 pips. And it does go down, of course, at least our 40 pips. Here is the same thing. Wait for price to get to this area, which it does right here or right here. All right. It doesn't go 10 pips in the negative, so we're good. It would not have stopped us out on this trade, and then we would have traded down. And then you can look at look at the opposite, which is the buy order, wait for price to get here, which it did over here, we would have made the those 40 pips here. Same thing here. Let's see, would have made the 40 pips here. Let's see, maybe would have been stopped out here. Let's see, got in around here. We probably would have been stopped out right here, but you see this very next signal here. It would have been profitable. Let's see, up in here. Yeah, we would have been good here. So we would have maybe lost a couple of trades, but we would have won. You know, we would have lost this trade, but we would have won 40. That would have been good if, well, price didn't quite make it here, so we would not have taken a trade here. So we would have won 40 pips, 40 pips, 40 pips. You know, we would 160 pips and lost 10 pips. And that's only using the stochastic. But the problem is, using this long term, you would run into, when the market starts to kind of consolidate and go sideways, you would possibly run into a series of losses. Now, if you are using that 10 pip stop loss to gain 40 pips, you may be okay because that's a good win-loss ratio. But to kind of avoid that and populate more losses, we also wanted to use or indicate with this check mark kind of like a confirmation. So basically, not even looking at the arrow and where to enter, we're just looking at the arrow telling us to go down, and then shortly after we're looking for a check mark saying, okay, get ready to trade down. This is your confirmation, trade down, or trade, you know, whatever color this arrow is. So what that would look like, we wouldn't wait for price to come up here. We get the down arrow, then we get the check mark. We will basically come here on the next candle and trade down, basically. All right. And if, you know, we got the blue arrow and no check mark, you know, we just would not have taken the trade. These would be far and few in between. However, it probably would be a little bit more accurate. You would have to go back through, you know, several months and just, you know, do some calculations and back testing. So let's scroll through, and you see it doesn't happen every single day. You know, like we skipped a couple of days here. But you notice that was a win back there. And then here's another one. Blue arrow, prepare to trade bullish. Here's the blue check mark. So blue check mark here. We would have got in here. That would have been a drawdown of about 9 or 10 pips. And then we would have traded up. Now we still could possibly use that 10 to 40 pip, you know, that win-loss ratio or that ratio. But, you know, you would have to just do a little bit of back testing to decide, you know, the best way to do that. And this is NZD USD, so it's a little more volatile than the other pairs. So, you know, you can just flip through the different charts and add this indicator to the charts and see how it works out for you. But you also could probably use this kind of in conjunction with your normal strategy, whatever strategy you guys are using to possibly help you out. All right, so let's very quickly, before we jump into how the EA is created, let's talk about what this blue check mark is. This blue check mark is nothing more than the moving averages crossing. So this is the 10 period EMA. So this is the exponential moving average. And then this moving average right here is a 40 period EMA. When the 10 crosses up or over the 40 period, it generates this blue check mark, which would be our confirmation signal to buy. Now, what you could do, you can incorporate both. You know, you can use this method where you're only using the arrows. So you see that this is going down. You could potentially wait for the market to come here and then decide whether or not you want to take the trade down or not. And then you can also use this, and maybe when you're doing this, you risk, you know, you don't trade as many pips. And then when you come over and you see this setup, maybe you'll trade a few more pips and do it that way. All right. So let's jump into, and you can see here, so this goes into like a small stream of losses because the market kind of starts to go sideways here, hard drop, then sideways. So all those wins back there that we went over, those 40 pip, 40 pip, 40 pip wins, it would be at some point met with a few losses. Okay, so for example, here it's telling you to trade up. And if you would have got in here, it would have went up 10 pips, but then it would have went down more than 10 pips. It would not have hit your 40 pip stop loss if you had one here. Same thing with this right here. That would have been a loss. This actually what I think would have been another win right here. So, you know, it won't work every single time, but when you do lose, you would only lose 10 pips. And when you win, you would win 40 pips. All right, so let's flip over real quick to see how we created this indicator. And let me pull the, let's see. All right, so I have the link in the video. This is, of course, is eabuilder.com. I believe they still let you create the free indicator. All right, if you wanted to create a strategy or an expert advisor itself, meaning the bot where it trades for you, they will charge you for it. But the link to this is in the video, but you can see the website here. And this should be free to create. All right, so let's look at the sell arrows that we have on the chart. So when you open this up, it is going to be blank and you want to hit add condition. Of course, I already have the conditions in here. And then to actually add the condition itself, once you hit add condition, you go into the window here and you can see we selected stochastic oscillator, and then we selected the 5 and 3. It's 5, 3. If you just have to scroll down here to see the other 3. Now when that crosses below the 80, that says value 80, that's just the 80 line. Then we want to, just a second here, kick me out. So, let's see if I can remember my passwords here. All right. So after we add our condition, all right, we're going to, here, I'll just show you real quick. Let me go here and show you how it would look. You wouldn't see any of this when you first open the program. You would only see this. You would click add condition, and then we would select our stochastic oscillator 5, 3, and 3. This just says is above. That's just what it's defaulted to, but you want to have crosses below. Then you want it to cross below a value, which is our 80 pips. All right. Okay. And then we click OK. And I'm just going to make this 81 just because 80 is already in there. I don't want it to think I'm duplicating anything. All right. So then after we have this condition in here, we have to tell it what to show on the chart once this happened. So for me, when this happened, I wanted it to show a down arrow. To do that, you just click on the up and down arrow button. And then you want it to show an arrow. You want it to show, you can do the width as 3. You know, you can have it show like a histogram or a section or a zigzag in the bottom window, but it's better to do arrow. The arrow type, you want the arrow down. Okay. And then at price, this is where we talked about the support and resistance. So basically, I told you guys that I wanted the arrow to show at a support or resistance level, because if we're only using the arrows, we want to know when this reaches the resistance level so that we can get in at resistance, because you normally want to sell at resistance and buy at support. You don't want to sell at at support, because it's already down, it's probably going to bounce up. So you want to make sure that you sell at resistance. Okay, this would be resistance. You would sell here instead of trying to sell down here. So when you do this over here and you put at price, so this arrow is going to populate on the chart at the support level, and it's going to look back 12 bars. You can change this to 20 bars if you want, but it's going to look back 12 bars, and it's going to basically put the arrow at the resistance level. Okay. Now it could draw a line on the chart for you, like it'll draw a line and then put the arrow, but I don't like that, so I just take that off and then click OK. And that is how we actually populated this right here. All right. So I'm going to remove these because we don't need that. So I did that here, the cross below, and I clicked on the arrow and made the arrow as a, I changed the color, I changed the label to sell. Did the same thing for the buy. The only difference here is chose a stochastic oscillator, but the only difference here is I said when it crosses above 20. So that basically means when this crosses above 20, so the stochastic crosses above 20, place a blue arrow on the chart. And the way we get the blue arrow is we go to, all right, once we set that, we click OK. All right, and then we would click on this button, and then we would do arrow type up. You can change the width if you want. And then the color, we change the color to blue. And then we just change the label to buy. All right, and then over here we did the same thing, but we want this to place the arrow at the support level, and it shows you the support level is down here. And I did not want the line on the chart, so I removed that. All right, so that's what we did for here and here. And then we added two more conditions. We just hit the new indicator buffer button, and it adds another box for us. And this time, what we did is we said, this is for the moving average. We said when the moving average, the 10-period moving average, you can see here, the EMA, 10-period moving average, clicked here, moving average, crosses below the 40-period moving average. That's what we selected here. Then we wanted it to, we clicked on this button, we wanted it to show us a sell signal, but this time the indicator type, or the arrow type, I just left that as arrow. We wanted the arrow type to show a check sign. All right, and we wanted that check sign to be red, and we wanted it, the label to be sell. And just like before, we wanted this arrow to populate at the resistance level of 12 bars. So it counts back 12 bars, whatever that resistance is, that's where that arrow shows up. All right, and then we did the same thing for the buy. Okay, we clicked the new indicator button, and this box popped up. And then what we did is we set the same thing. Moving average, when the 10-period moving average crosses above, this time, above the 40-period moving average, we wanted the indicator. So we click this button, and this pops up. We want the indicator to show a check sign. We wanted the color to be blue, and we wanted the label to be buy, and we wanted it to show at this support level, which is down here. Okay. All right. So after we did that, that's the only thing we did. We went over to source. Okay. And then we copied the source, Control C, and it tells you here Control C. So we just did Control C. I went over to my MT4, went up to the indicator, and I right clicked. See, if you right click here, you can create an indicator in Meta Editor. Okay. All right, and then you see this box comes up. You hit next. You would name it. So I named mine IQQ. All right, that's what I did on mine. Just named it. That's the person who made the comment. I think the name started with IQQ, so I just named it that. But for this video, and hit next. And when you hit next, it comes up with the IQQ. It shows you like some header code. And I basically remove everything in here. So I do Control A, which highlights everything, and then hit delete. But you can highlight everything or however you want to delete it. And then you want to do Control V as in Victor to paste everything. And then you just hit compile. All right, as simple as that. And then when you get over here, your IQQ indicator will be in the list. If you don't see it in your indicator list, you need to right click and go to refresh. All right. And then once that's done, I take it and I just drag it to the chart. And then it populates in the chart. Let's say we wanted to add this to GBP, some random chart. We would do this. And then you would just take it and add it to the chart. Click OK here. You see, starts giving you signals. All right, and then here's one of these signals. These are just your basic signals right here, but here's one of your confirmation signals right here on this chart. Boom, boom. Get in right here. You see it only goes, about 10 pips or so against you, and then it goes down 234 pips. This is on a hourly chart. All right, so that's how that works. All right, so guys, let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I wanted to already have this EA built and just explain it. I'm sorry, the indicator built and just explain it to you so that I wouldn't make the video too long. But in short, this just simply uses the stochastic and the moving averages to provide you guys with an indicator. And again, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. And again, shout out to all of my subscribers, and shout out to IQQNEX for the video idea. And hopefully this helps you out, and hopefully this is what you were looking for. If you have any other suggestions or you want to make any changes to the EA, just let me know. I'll see what I can do. But I'm going to put this EA out here on the Stamps FX site, and this is the link, by the way, to the EA that you guys could download. You have to watch that video though, but this is, you can copy that code. There's needed edits in here, so you need to go up and watch that video. But I will put this on the site somewhere, this indicator on the site, Stamps FX, so you just go there and download it. I may just put it here. I don't think I have this linked to anything just yet, so I may just put the indicator here and just paste the code in the body of the page, and then you guys could just go and copy and paste that over to your MetaTrader, and then compile, and it should work for you. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Peace out, and I'll see you guys in the next